Hello there, thanks very much for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to talk to you about the clothing that I wear to keep myself warm, safe and enjoy the time I spend hiking in the hills and mountains during the UK winter. I'll also touch on the layering system that I find works best for me. Right, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so we'll start from the head and work our way down to the toe. So my choice of headwear in the winter is a beanie. You've seen from my introductions that I'm a little bit follically challenged, so keeping the head warm is crucial during the winter months. I've got quite a few beanies, but the ones I tend to wear the most because they're really comfortable is this Fuel Raven one. It's a 100% wool, that extremely warm. And I tend to take an extra beanie in my pack on every single hike just in case one gets wet. And this one is just an Arc'teryx wool polyester blend hat. Not as warm as the Fuel Raven, but still really comfortable, and goes with me on most of my hikes. Right, so moving on down, the next thing that I always take in the winter is this Rab. It's like, I think it's a neck gaiter, or some people call them buffs. Just pops over your head, snugs around your neck, and you can stop drafts. Just before I move on to my base layers, what I do want to point out is you don't have to spend top dollar on hiking gear. I think for the first 4 or 5 years, I mainly bought cheap gear because I didn't go out that often. So the gear I'm going to show you in a minute is mostly branded. I've got a lot of it in sales, and I'm happy to share some of the places where I bought them from. But I don't want people to feel as I go through my gear that they've got to invest in expensive gear to enjoy the hills. Right. Okay, so starting with my base layers then. So base layers are absolutely crucial. One of the most important pieces of clothing for me, because it's it helps wick away moisture that you build up through sweating. Anyone who's made the mistake of wearing cotton t-shirts like I have when out hiking, you realise what a massive mistake it is and how quickly you get a chill if you start to sweat. So my base layers of choice are both polyester. You can get them in merino wool, but I don't tend to sweat that badly, so my base layers don't tend to smell that much. But anyway, the two that I tend to wear the most, so there's this Rab one here, dead lightweight, really comfortable, and I also have an Arc'teryx Row hooded base layer. This one is slightly warmer. It's just to show you, it's got like a bit of a, if that's it, it's got like a micro fleece lining, so extremely comfortable and warm on really cold winter days. So I tend to wear that one when I know the temperatures are going to be below freezing. Moving on to mid layers. So mid layers are the layers that you wear to trap your body heat in as you start to work hard on your hike. So I've got quite a few mid layers that I've built up over the years, but two that I tend to wear most of all. First one is this Arc'teryx Kyanite hooded jacket. Now this is it's like a Polar Tech fleece material, quite a technical fleece, very lightweight and extremely warm, and really comfortable to wear. It does feel nice against the skin if you've only got a short sleeve base layer underneath it. The other mid layer that I tend to wear, I tend to leave this one for, again, really cold days. This is the Arc'teryx Proton LT. It's the jacket version. They do a hooded one as well. Now this is extremely warm once it's under a shell of some description. It's quite lightweight for the amount of insulation it has. Extremely comfortable to wear again, and very warm. You'll notice on both of my mid layers I go for the and the Baselayers. I go for the zipped versions. The reason being is it just gives me a chance to regulate my temperature. So if I am getting hot, say I'm going uphill, I can just, if I can do it one-handed, I can just pull the zip down and obviously let some of that heat out that I've built up, and then just zip it back up again if I start to get cold. So moving on to gloves. So I take 2 pairs of gloves out with me on every hike. These are my preferred pair. These are Rab Power Stretch, I think they're called. They've got the touchscreen compatibility, which is crucial. I like to use the phone just to check where I am at points when I'm navigating. So touchscreen gloves are key. I do have a really super warm pair of gloves. These aren't touchscreen and they're extremely clunky, so I hate having to wear them, to be honest. But if it is extremely cold, they're brilliant. They're super warm. I think they've got quite a cheap pair I picked up from Sports Direct, I think, but they're filled with Primaloft, which I think is a real high quality insulation. I think they're an absolute bargain, to be fair. I think I only paid about £20 for them. And they're extremely warm. So let's move on to the outer layer then. So this is the final layer of my 3-layer system. So my preferred outer layer is a soft shell. And my favourite soft shell is this Rab Kinetic Plus jacket. There is a review for this on my channel if you want to go and check it out. It is also actually waterproof. So on days when it's just light showers or intermittent showers, I don't often need to switch to the hard shell. So it is one of my favourite pieces of kit for that reason. But there are days when it's going to absolutely chuck it down or be extremely windy and you need some protection from the wind chill. And for me, that's when a hard shell is absolutely essential. So my preferred hard shell of choice is the Arc'teryx Beta LT. Extremely lightweight Gore-Tex Pro jacket. I don't think Arc'teryx make it anymore. I think they've rebranded it and given it a different name, but I think you can still buy this and probably get it. I know I got mine about half price. I got it in the sale, so I was really chuffed with that because it's quite pricey when it was full price. But you know, so far it's been absolutely bomb-proof. I've been having some torrential rain in this one, and you know, never has any moisture got through. Moving on to leg wear, my trouser of choice is the Montane Terror trousers. I do have a pair of Mountain Equipment Softshell trousers that I haven't got with me to show you today, but I only tend to wear those on days when it's absolutely freezing and I need to really cut out the wind. I find these Montane trousers unbelievably comfortable to wear. I've even got a grey pair as well, and 90% of the time I have these on. I personally don't get cold on the legs. I feel the cold in my core, but you know, I very rarely feel the cold. I think it's because I've got hairy legs, but I'm not going to show you those. And then moving on to waterproof trousers. So my waterproof trouser of choice is the Berghaus Gore-Tex Pack Lights, and I got these at an absolute bargain price. I think I only paid about £40 for them, which is over half price compared to what Berghaus charge you. And what I like about these the most is they zip pretty much all the way up to the top, so they're so easy to get on and off, which is what you need in changeable weather. So another layer that goes with me on every single hike is my insulating jacket. So this is the Rab Photon, and it's quite a heavily insulated jacket. It uses synthetic insulation, so it's not affected by moisture or heavy rain, and it's designed in a way that you can throw it on over all the other layers that I've described earlier. So I tend to use this when I've stopped for lunch, or if for whatever reason I was stationary for any period of time, heaven forbid I picked up an injury for example, I would throw this on, and what it will do is it will trap all the heat that I've generated throughout the hike. It will trap it and keep me warm. I think, to be honest, winter hiking, everybody needs an insulated jacket. Again, budget dependent, there are much cheaper alternatives out there, but it is a really worthwhile investment, and personally I would never ever go out into the hills and mountains without one of these. Right, so let's move on to socks and footwear. So I have invested recently in proper hiking socks. For a long time I never used to wear these, but they have made a massive difference, both in terms of eliminating blisters and also keeping my feet nice and warm during the winter months. The ones that I use are they're called Darn Tough. They do come with a lifetime guarantee as well. If you get any holes in them through wear, that they'll replace them. I've had them about 6 months, worn them a lot, and they still look as good as new, so it sounds like they live up to the name. So in terms of boots, there's a couple of pairs of winter boots that I have. These are my La Sportivas. I think they've got nubuck leather. Yeah, I tend to use these more when I'm going to be on a walk where I've got quite a lot of wet rock to walk over. The tread's a bit dirty, unfortunately. I've done a bad job cleaning these, but they've got a Vibram Mega Grip sole, and they're brilliant on wet, slippy rocks. My other pair of boots are my Meindl Bhutan. Now these are quite a heavyweight leather pair, but they're extremely warm, so days when I know it's going to be extremely cold, really muddy, these are my go-to pair of boots. Longer hikes, I tend to go for the La Sportiva because they're quite a lot lighter, but you know, I've got a feeling I'm going to get a lot more years out of these than I will the La Sportiva. They look like they're built to last. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate you taking time out to do that. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. There are other videos on there providing hints and tips for people wanting to learn more about hiking safety. All of the products that I've mentioned today, I will put links to them in the video description. If you have any questions about anything you've heard, about any of the products that I've talked about, pop them in the comments section below. I'll try and answer every single one of them. Okay, that's all for today's video. I'll catch up with you on the next one. Goodbye for now.